Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a story time, and this video was highly requested by a lot of you guys, and it's about the time that I almost caught my roommates. Quick update. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing to my videos, subscribing to my channel actually, and watching my videos, and just want to say that we're almost at 100 subscribers. And I know that's really small, but I'm like really excited because like I just feel like I've been putting in a lot of work and it's kind of showing off. So let's get to 100 subscribers. This story happened in about the summer of 2018. So in the summer of 2018, I was still attending UCF, and I had just moved from an on-campus apartment to an off-campus apartment. And I'm not going to mention the name of the off-campus apartment because I just don't want to, and also like I had problems at that apartment to begin with, and those problems actually have to do a lot with why I almost fought this girl. So we're gonna give my roommate a name. We're gonna call her Chelsea. So Chelsea was already living in the apartment, right? So she had been living there for I think a year. So I was like the new one moving in because her previous roommate had moved out. So I moved in. I forgot, I can't think if I met Chelsea before then. I think like when they give you, you know, your roommate assignments, I think I had her like phone number and email, so I messaged her and just said, hey, I'm Sierra, nice to meet you, just let you know I'm moving in this date and blah 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 blah. So we had like conversed or whatever before I moved in. So like the day comes to move in, she was very nice. She met the people, my family that helped me move in. She met them. She was very nice, very sweet. We talked about some of the things that, you know, like the agreements or whatever, because we had to do like, I think we had to do a roommate agreement at the place. I think, I cannot really remember, but you know, we agreed on some things. And so that night, I believe, I think her boyfriend came over because she has a boyfriend, and a lot of the time she did stay at his apartment, but sometimes he would come over. So he came over that night, and her boyfriend, you know, smoked or whatever. So I smoked too. So I was like, okay, bet, like, let's get lit, whatever. So we went out on the porch and smoked, you know, had a good time, whatever, good vibes, stuff like that. You know, I'm more talkative when I'm like up in the clouds. So, you know, I was talking, getting to know them, whatever. Cool, right? So having living there, like I said, some days she would stay at her boyfriend's house. So like sometimes I wouldn't see her or, you know, whatever. So I would say the first kind of incident that happened between us was when like I don't know, I went into the kitchen for something, either to cook or to grab something, and I noticed that there was like a paper towel, like a used paper towel on the counter. And I was thinking like, I know I didn't leave this there. So obviously my roommate left her there. And I was just like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe she forgot it. Like, you know, giving people the benefit of the doubt, because you can't just snap at the first thing that like goes wrong. So I just kind of let it slide. And then I think the next day, the next morning or whatever, I had to go to work or something, and I was just getting my like a water bottle out of the refrigerator, and there was another napkin, and I was like, so now there's 2 napkins on the counter, like, you know, trying to like figure this out. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna trip. I don't know what happened. You know what, let's just see what happens, like when you come back, whatever. So when I came back after work, the napkins were gone, so like it fixed itself, whatever. So that was just kind of the first incident that happened. So then like the second incident, I moved in May, and it was about maybe like June-ish, I would say. Like I said, she would either stay at her boyfriend's house, but I think this time she had went back home for like a week, and that night before she left, she like cooked or whatever, cooked food, whatever she did. So y'all, like me, if like I wouldn't say I'm the cleanest person. Like I'm not, like I'm more messy. I'm not dirty, but I'm more messy. Like if you see my room, you'll see like maybe like a shoe here, a shirt here, whatever. But you know, that messiness would never be like out in the common areas. Like I would keep it in my room. I wouldn't have a shoe or a shirt or whatever out in the living room. So for me, there's a difference between messy and dirty. Dirty is like having trash, having like food everywhere, stuff like that. And messy is, like I said, having a shoe or a shirt, whatever. So, like I said, this girl cooked before she left. Y'all, I go into the kitchen the next day to cook me some food, right? This girl left all of her dishes in the sink. Now, I would have been fine. That's fine. Like sometimes you leave your dishes in the sink and you just want to clean the next day because you just cooked. But not only did she leave them in the sink, but she left some of them with food in them. And guess what that attracts? Flies and little creatures, which I don't like. So I was just like, why would she leave that in there knowing that she's not going to be here for like a week or a weekend or whatever? And then on top of that, why would you leave food in it? Like you could have at least rinsed it out, baby girl. On top of that, she had so many dishes, y'all, that I couldn't even wash my dishes when I cooked because it was in both sides of the sink. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And I think she expected me to wash her dishes because I remember one time I had made something, like I don't know if it was a drink or some food or whatever, and like I left my utensils or cup, it was something. I left something in the sink overnight to do in the morning, and when I woke up that morning to wash them, it was already washed. And I was like, okay. So she had washed them for me, and I was like, oh, thank you, like that's so sweet. But like, you know me, I just thought of it as a favor. Like I didn't think like it was something like I had to do in return, if that makes sense. Again, if she would have left the dishes in the sink without any food in them, I would have been fine. But because you left food, that's kind of, you know, that's gross. So I was just thinking about like how to approach it, and I was just like, I don't know, like, because I'm a non-confrontational person. I do not like confrontation. I get anxiety when I have conversations with people. I get anxiety, I get very angry, and like it's just not good. So I was just kind of thinking, like, how should I approach this? What should I do? Whatever. And then on top of that, she also left paper towels on the ground again. And not on the ground, on the counter again. And I'm just like, come on, girl, like why? I text her and I tell her like, hey girl, I noticed that you left your dishes in the sink and some trash around the kitchen, and I was just saying like, can you like clean that up, like before you go out on the trip? Just make sure you have all your stuff clean, especially in the common area where I have to cook my food too. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry about that, like I didn't mean to, that's my bad, you know, blah blah blah. So problem solved, it's fine, it's cool, it is whatever. So then she comes back and you know, we're good, everything's fine. Y'all, this girl leaves trash again. Like she leaves more paper towels, and it's just like, you know, more dirty stuff and just not cleaning up after herself. And I'm just like, did I not ask her nice enough the first time? Like, I don't know. So I text her again and I'm just like, because like, mind you guys, she's not here. So like, she came back on a trip, but she was at her boyfriend's house. So I couldn't like approach her. So I text her again and I said, hey girl, I just found some trash again. Like, like I was just saying like the first time it's already been a problem and I don't want it to be a bigger problem. So please just learn how to like clean up after yourself. And I could tell she was getting a little irritated by me constantly coming to her or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know why you're getting irritated because you're the one making the mess. So clean it up. So I'm just like chilling in my room, doing work, doing my homework, stuff like that. And I get a text on my phone. Chelsea texts me and says, hey, just letting you know that I cleaned the entire apartment. And she was like, I scrubbed the kitchen, I swept, did this and did that. And then, y'all, this is where she had me messed up. So at the end of the text, she says, so hopefully you stop bitching about it. Y'all, I was like, this girl really just cursed at me. And like I told you in all of our reactions, I was very nice, very cordial. I didn't like have an attitude. I wasn't mean. I was very like, So I'm like, why is this girl cursing at me? So I said, first of all, I responded, first of all, I never asked you to clean the whole apartment. I just told you to make sure that the kitchen is clean. So you were being extra, okay? And then second, I told Chelsea to never curse at me again because I had never cursed at her. And then she texts me like, whatever. And I'm like, bet. So at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna confront Chelsea. We gonna talk. So I go to her room, right? Her lights off. Chelsea's not there. So I'm like, oh, okay. So you can text me and be all big and bad in text, but you can't even be here to face me. All right, bet. So y'all, honestly, after that, Chelsea avoided me, man. She like, I know how to avoid people, but girl, how do you avoid somebody in your own place of living? So like, I would never see her. And when I would see her, like, I think one time I woke up to go to work and I walked by the kitchen and she was in the kitchen. She didn't even look at me. I looked straight at her. She didn't even look at me. I know she saw me staring at her, like, from peripheral. So I was like, okay. And again, like, even though I was gonna confront her that night, I was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, I still gotta live with this girl for a whole year. So let me chill, let me relax, let me whatever. We're gonna go into incident number 3, which is where things started to get very heated. So like I told you in the beginning of the video, like her boyfriend smoked, and her boyfriend would smoke like a vaping thing, and it had the good stuff in it. So he was smoking in her room, whatever. So Chelsea, she actually didn't like the smell of the good stuff. So I was like, how you don't like the smell of the good stuff with your boyfriend? And I was like, okay, whatever. So like, she had this rule where she was like, I'm gonna leave smoke outside, which is fine, like, it's cool, whatever. So I think one night I was just chilling, watching TV or whatever, and I had my window open. And in these apartment complexes, people smoke, they do that. So I think either someone was smoking like in the apartment next to us or like right outside or something like that. So that smell was like, coming in. And also that night I had smoked like a lot. I was going through a lot at that time, which is, I may talk about that, but whatever. So, I had the smell on me, whatever. So this girl, I get another text on my phone and she says, are you smoking in the room? And I'm like, no. And she was like, are you lying? And I'm like, what do I have to lie for? And she's like, well, I can smell it and it's like really strong and you know how I feel about that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, girl, I have my window open. Maybe it's someone smoking like outside. And then I also told her that yes, I had smoked outside, so you might be smelling like my clothes or whatever. And she was like, yeah, I don't believe that, but I guess. Like, y'all, again, I don't have a reason to lie. And first of all, also I pay rent there, so if I wanted to smoke, I'm gonna smoke. But you know, again, I'm respectful. So then after that, it was just like, okay, I'm done with this girl. Like, I'm not gonna do it. So this is the last and final incident that made me want to really like grab this girl by the neck and strangle her. So again, all these problems like just kept building up, and it was just like a lot of tension between us. So it came time to where in like August, it came time to where new people were coming to move in. And I guess her friend wasn't, one of her friends lived in the apartment complex, right? And she wasn't like meshing with her roommate. So basically, Chelsea calls me into her room with her boyfriend at that. Like, so we got a 2-on-1, which like I didn't appreciate. But so I go into the room and like I'm done with her at this point. So I'm just like, what does she want? So she tells me that, hey, my friend like isn't really meshing well with my roommate, and she was like, we've had problems lately, so I was wondering if you would switch with her so she can move in with me and you can move in with her roommate. I was like, immediately like, no. Like, me, even though we had a problem, it wasn't bothering me that much. Like, again, I'm really good, like I can ignore you, and she was avoiding me anyway, so it's not like we had any contact. And again, she was staying at her boyfriend's house to avoid me, so it was not like anything. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And then on top of that, like, my family had already at that point moved me twice, and they were like, we are not going to move you like another time. And it hasn't even been a year, it's only been a couple of months, because they have work, they have stuff to do, they can't just drive down and come and move me. So I was like, I just don't have anyone to move me. And at the time I did have a boyfriend who could have moved me, but he was working, so it wasn't like I could just call him up and be like, hey, can you come move me? So I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. And she was just like, why? And like her boyfriend was like, yeah, why? Like, gang up on me. And I'm like, because I said so. Like, I don't want to move. Like, I just don't. And it was just like, I don't know why. She was just like, I don't know why you just won't move. Like, we have problems anyway. It'll make it easier for the both of us. And I was like, no, it'll make it easier for you because you were about to buy me. And you're the one, like, causing all these problems. So I was like, yeah, no, girl, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. You can move out, though. That's why I told her, I said, if you convince that other roommate to switch, you guys can switch, but I'm not moving. Like, I'm staying, my stuff is staying right here. And they just kept arguing with me back and forth, and I was just like, obviously we're not going to come to agreement, so I don't know what you're going to do. Peace. So when I left the room, did what I had to do. And then, y'all, when I left the room, baby girl slammed the door, and I was like, all right, that's fine, like, whatever. At that point, I was just very fed up, and I was just like, I can't believe they like double teamed me, you know what I mean, and tried to like push me out. Like, how are you gonna push me out because you're having problems? And then that friend that wanted to like move in, your friend's dirty, so you're really ready to like live with someone who's dirty. But again, that's not my problem. So I was just so mad, and like I remember that I was texting my parents because I have them in a group chat, and I was texting them and I was like, y'all, I want to fight her, I want to strangle her, she just did this, her boyfriend, this and that, and if y'all haven't already guessed it, Chelsea is white and her boyfriend is white as well. So my parents were just like, no, don't do that, because you know how some people can be. She gonna call the police on you and you're going to jail and this and that. And I was like, well, I may have to go to jail for a night. Like, I was just so upset. At the time also, I was in this group for a Greek extravaganza where all the D9 organizations were going to step and everything. So I was on that committee, and I was cool with the president of the committee. And I don't know how, but I think we were talking about something, and for some reason she wanted to move like out of her apartment because she was on, I think because she was on the 3rd floor. So I think she just wanted to move out her apartment into like a lower apartment, and I was on the 1st floor. So we were talking, and I was just telling her about the problems I was having with my roommate, and she said, well, hey, do you want to switch? So at the apartment complex, you're able to switch rooms if you're like, you know, not happy. Because at this point, I had already emailed the resident assistant, and the resident assistant really wasn't doing anything. She was just like, you guys talk it out. And I was just like, we tried and nothing's working, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and also y'all, it was really hard for me to like continue to press the issue with the resident assistant as well, because again, I did smoke, and you're not supposed to do that in an apartment, whatever. And I did not want to risk Chelsea like saying something. So the president, I'll give her name, Bethany. So Bethany told me that she will switch rooms with me, and I was like, okay, that's great. So this actually took a while because, again, the apartment complex I'm talking about had so many problems with them. Like, I hated living there, stuff like that. Like, the only thing that made it good was the fact that I was in a tutu. But finally, like a couple weeks after the move-in date, me and Bethany switched. So I think what happened was Chelsea wasn't even at her apartment. Again, she was like MIA. So I had my boyfriend at the time come to Orlando, and he helped me move all my stuff to that new apartment. And like I said, the new apartment, it was a distance, like it was in the same community, but it was a distance away from my other apartment. So we moved all that stuff, and I got a better roommate, a quiet roommate, a clean roommate. Chelsea, if you're out there, you can kiss my black booty, because you were rude to me for no reason when you were being dirty. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and then also subscribe to my channel. And then also, guys, I need you guys to hit that little bell button that's on the side of the subscribe button, because if you don't hit that bell button, you won't get my notifications, you won't know when I upload, and you won't be able to watch my videos, and we do not want that. So if you want more story times, please let me know. I have a lot more story times that I would love to tell. I just want to know if you guys want to hear them. And I have also a lot more content that's coming to you guys, and I hope you're excited. So again, thank you for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, loves.